Gallagher, Oasis' chief musical force, songwriting had typically been confined to stolen moments in hotel rooms, buses, and venues on lengthy tours. With Be Here Now, however, the songwriter set time aside to write the album, jetting off to the Caribbean island of Mystique, where he spent a month composing and creating demos for most of the album's 11 tracks.
Take the time to make some sense.
I put myself under quite a bit of pressure because that was the only time that was set aside for writing. So when I went to Mystique, the first week was sort of quite slowish. And then as soon as your mind was waking up, I was writing sort of 2 or 3 songs a day sometimes.
Was apparently worth it. Whereas his previous lyrics had been slighted for their simplicity, the first single, Do You Know What I Mean, offers up some of Gallagher's most personal subject matter to date. Set to a thumping sample of NWA's Straight Outta Compton, the track addresses religion and Noel's hometown of Manchester, England. Step on.
On the single is, I stepped off the train all alone at dawn, back into the hole where I was born. So after going away and becoming successful and earning lots of money and being famous, I don't go back home to Manchester much anymore. And I actually got off the train one very early morning to go and see a mum, and sort of as soon as I got off the train, I suddenly realised, well, I don't live there anymore, because it's rubbish. That one really, because as long as it wasn't another Wonderwall or Don't Look Back in Anger, which I think everybody thinks were this sort of rock ballad group, which I hate. I'd hate to think people think we're like Air Supply or something like that, or like Foreigner or something like that. If you look at the 100 greatest songs ever written, the Beatles have written at least 60 of them. And that's better than wanting to be the Velvet Underground, you know what I mean? Or wanting to be the Doors.
Oasis have never shied away from their love of the Beatles. And with Be Here Now, the comparisons continue to abound.
Beatles played guitars, we play guitars. Beatles had hair, we've got hair. Beatles had arms, we've got arms.
The band even decided to soak up some of the Fab Four's vibes by recording Be Here Now at Abbey Road Studios in London, an endeavour that was ultimately cut short.
There's 3 studios in there, and we were playing that loud. Somebody knocked on the door one afternoon and told us some old fella who was doing